I want to talk. I love when you make news, Laura. You always make me chuckle. And
Did you
there
think my
was
curry joke was funny? I mean, hey, look,
I wanted
I,
to bring
I
up the
said,
curry joke.
Chrissy, I always said if I was a stand-up comedian, okay, if I was like Aziz Ansari, okay, people would laugh. People would think it was funny. If I was a stand-up comedian, everybody would have laughed their ass off at my
Right,
curry
you're
comment.
right.
And it's just so crazy, this double standard. And I don't know.
It really is. You have to
I
just
thought
go
it was
around calling
funny.
yourself.
I thought it was
Yeah,
funny.
you tweeted if Kamala wins, the White House is gonna smell like curry, which is funny and cute. And I just think people really, when there's someone like you who really pushes the envelope and keeps a lot of receipts and keeps tabs on people, and you know, you're not stupid, and anytime that you make a joke or say something, uh, people are so quick to just jump down your throat
Yeah,
and
and
not let it go.
they acted like I did something terrible, and the reality is that I said, "Oh, if Kamala Harris becomes president, the White House is going to smell like curry, and we're going to have to do White House press briefings via call center, and then you're going to have to take a customer satisfaction survey at the end, and nobody's going to be able to understand it." And really, it was so triggering, in my opinion, to the media and rhinos, because it is true, and it goes to this whole concept of replacement as well. We are being replaced. And even Joe Biden is being replaced. I mean, shit, they literally had to outsource the presidency to an Indian. What does that tell you? What does
Yeah.
that tell you? Okay, so even Joe Biden is being replaced. And it's true. The reality is everybody knows what it's like to have to get customer service and that very irritating, grating feeling of somebody with a very heavy accent on the other end of the line saying, "Well, how can I help you?" And all you want to say is, "Well, you can't really fucking help me, can you? Because you don't even speak English." Okay. And it's like the same
Yeah.
concept with Kamala Harris. Well, you can't really help me, can you? Because you don't understand my issues and you're unwilling to talk to the media. And so the whole concept of it being facilitated via a call center, yeah, it was a joke. It was an Indian joke. It was nothing that your everyday comedian wouldn't joke about. I mean, there's a million jokes online about call centers and yeah, the
Yeah.
fact that jobs have been outsourced to India. But the reality is the reason why it triggered people so much is because, yeah, it was a joke, but it's also true. It's also true.
And also, she's not really black. I think, I mean, a lot of people don't like Candace Owens, but didn't she dig in a bit to her family background and found like, okay, maybe at most she's like 25% black, that she lied about
Yeah,
having like a black grandmother.
she recently did that, but I mean, to be fair, right? I had, there are some of us who posted about that and reported on that before, and I'm not knocking anything that Candace has done, but I'm just saying that there are
She's
people
late.
out there
Yeah.
who did it first, including myself. And so that's one of the reasons too the media went so crazy, because they said, "Oh, Donald Trump got his information from Laura Loomer as it relates to Kamala Harris not being black." And there was a whole Washington Post article about it. And so my point is that, well, this has been a part of the discussion for a while. And yeah, she certainly dug into genealogy, but you don't really have to even go that far to see that she's not really black. She has said in the past that she identifies as Indian and has always identified as Indian until she decided to really run for president. And you can see online that Black women find her to be extremely, when I say her, I'm talking about Kamala Harris, to be extremely unrelatable because, well, the things that she says are just completely ridiculous. Like, who cooks collard greens in the bathtub? Black women were talking about how you don't cook in the bathtub. And it's just very insulting, right? It's like that Hillary Clinton moment about how she carries hot sauce in her purse, right? So the reality is these are issues that permeate the culture. Okay. They permeate the culture. And as they say, politics is downstream from culture. And so if you're really able to target the culture, the media is going to go ballistic. And that's why they went crazy on me a few weeks ago. It had nothing to do with my tweet about India. It had nothing to do with what I said about curry. I highly doubt they really give a shit about me saying the White House is going to smell like curry. What they were upset about is the fact that I was able to interject the dog and cat eating comments, which again are related to immigration and the fact that we are being replaced. Our culture is being replaced. It is not okay to eat dogs and cats here. That is third world behavior. We don't do that here. And they blamed me for Donald Trump saying that during the debate. They came up with this wild conspiracy theory saying, oh, well, Laura Loomer flew as Donald Trump to the debate. And so she must have been prepping him for the debate. I'm not an advisor. I did not prep Donald Trump for the debate. And they're mad because, well, Loomer Unleashed was able to have a viral video that was seen over 7 million times of us confronting Senator Sherrod Brown in the key state of Ohio, the battleground state of Ohio. And we asked him about the Haitian migrants who, well, he and Kamala Harris gave temporary protected status to eating people's dogs and cats. And they are pissed off because now the number one trend on TikTok are a bunch of hot girls and, young guys like total Chad frat boys and hot, attractive young women who are, dancing in provocative clothing. I mean, whatever, if Zoomers are going to do what they're going to do, but that's the number one trend on TikTok. And Democrats thought that they were just going to be able to pay everybody $150 per post on TikTok and Instagram to create this illusion, right? She really is like a Manchurian manufactured candidate in a sense, completely astroturfed. They thought that they were just going to be able to completely control TikTok by paying a bunch of people $150 to make posts in support of her. And now organically, Donald Trump is, talking about migrants eating dogs and cats in a debate. And the number one trend on the most popular app for Zoomers and millennials is talking about Donald Trump. So this is why the media has such a visceral reaction to this stuff. And, they don't have a sense of humor. They don't care about facts, and they're classic projectors.
I'm just tagged a friend of mine on a video because she was a little bit tentative on believing that they actually were eating dogs and cats in Springfield, Ohio. I just tagged her on something. It's a video of this guy chopping up an animal.
I saw that. That was Tyler Hansen's video. I just saw that like an hour ago too. And Tyler, I guess he decided to go to Ohio, and he actually texted me a few weeks ago and was like, oh, I'm going to be there. And he was interviewing people, and somebody's filming out from if you're talking about the same video I'm talking about, filming from the corner covertly from their apartment complex. So think of how awful this is. You have Haitian migrants who are there, and they're living in apartment facilities, and they're killing and skinning animals in the parking lot of an apartment complex, like a residential area. So a crazy video.
We've got a couple more questions from the chat from K-Max. When Trump said eating dogs and cats, did he really get that from you, Laura? The media was reporting Trump's cats and dogs line in the debate came from Laura Loomer. What is the truth?
Look, I'm not going to comment on it because I'm not going to talk about my private conversations with President Trump. But what I can tell you is not true is that I did not prep Donald Trump for the debate. Have I had conversations with him about immigration? Yeah, I've had conversations with President Trump about immigration, but I'm not going to, talk about private conversations with President Trump as it relates to things that were said in the debate. But it is categorically false that I am an advisor to President Trump or that I prepped him for the debate. So that's what I'll say. But they blamed me for it, and I don't really think it's a bad thing. Like, they want to act like it's a negative, and the reality is that this resulted in the number one TikTok trend. So they want to act like him saying this during a debate was so awful, and Laura Loomer is influencing this and influencing that. Well, you now have Zoomers, and you have everybody talking about immigration. The cat and dog line made immigration the number one issue. So what is the negative here? Why are people attacking me for this?
Because they can. And then they had rumors that you were hooking up with him. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's just so gross. It's just so ridiculous, and it's just so over the top. And Bill Maher, tries to sexualize everything. Right, and it's Bill just Maher. It's really honestly so gross. It's false, obviously, but it's also just very disrespectful to the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump. And it's just really icky that people would insinuate something like that because, well, there's no evidence whatsoever. And they showed photos of me hugging President Trump. So what? I gave him a hug. Like, you act like it's, a crime to give somebody a hug. Yeah,
right.
He's old enough. He's old enough to be my father. Okay. And the reality is, obviously I really love President Trump because he's a hero to me. He's an American icon. I care about him. I consider him to be a friend. But to try to over sexualize things and make it sound like, oh yeah, like somebody's having an affair just because I gave him a hug. I mean, come on. There are plenty of photos of other women giving politicians hugs. Doesn't mean you're having an affair with somebody. And it just shows you that the Democrats really are not the party of women, because, well, they're willing to try to, like Monica Lewinsky me and try to accuse me of being a whore and a homewrecker, when in reality, I flew on a plane. I mean, God, what was so awful about me flying on a plane? I was invited by him to attend the debate. What's the big deal? I said yes. Who would say no to that? Who would say no to Donald Trump? Who would say no to Donald Trump calling them and saying, you want to come to the debate?
Nobody.
Who would say no?
Nobody.
I mean, honestly, who would say no to that? Nobody.
That sounds like a blast.
I was not going to say no. And it was an honor, and had a great time. And then they tried saying that I'm a 9/11 conspiracy theorist, when it's funny because I went from being what they called the biggest Islamophobe ever. They said, oh, Laura Loomer is such a bigot, and oh, she hates Muslims. I do not hate Muslim people, but I always said that 9/11 was an Islamic terrorist attack. I even wrote about it in my book. And then they tried to create this lie and say Donald Trump brought a 9/11 truther to the 9/11 memorial. And Laura said 9/11 was an inside job, when I retweeted a video that somebody said at the very end that 9/11 was an inside job, but I wasn't retweeting the video because it said 9/11 was an inside job. I retweeted the video to highlight, isn't it weird how the government of the United States lost $2.3 trillion? They said they lost $2.3 trillion the day before 9/11. And isn't it weird how they're saying that they lost all this money to the Taliban, and also they lost money in their accounting for Ukraine? And I was simply reposting the video because I saw this video online and I thought, wow, this has happened more than once. Like, there's pattern recognition. And I think it's important for us to point out patterns. I never said 9/11 was an inside job. And all they said for like 2 weeks straight is, oh, Donald Trump brought a 9/11 truther to the memorial, which is crazy to me because, it's just
anything to knock him down, anything to make him look bad. They're desperate. Bill Maher's such a creep. He had Haley Welch, the Hacktua girl, on several weeks ago, and it was like, oh, he was very creepy to her. Like, I don't know, just not a fan.
Well, he's just crazy. And, for a guy that, goes around and, I mean, according to reports I've seen, he's quite sexually promiscuous. And so he's not one to be talking. It's one thing if you actually have your facts straight and you're talking about somebody having an affair. It's another thing to just make up bullshit and say, oh, well, here's a photo of Laura Loomer giving Donald Trump a hug. Like, it's ridiculous. It's so crazy.
Insane.
It's so crazy.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Love you, get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.